Good afternoon, students. In last class, we have discussed about some of the previous question papers, which is part of which is in unit number one. Now today, we'll go through the remaining papers as the part of revision class. See the questions from unit two. They are asked discuss the protocol architecture of GSM. Okay. Discuss the protocol architecture of GSM means you need to write GSM protocol architecture. GSM protocol architecture. You need to write. They asked for GSM protocol architecture. You need to write the GSM protocols, the topic GSM protocols. In this is the protocol architecture for signaling. In this we have mobile station, base transceiver station, base station controller, mobile switching center. Already several times I told you about interfaces between the parts. This was explained in GSM architecture. Okay, MS and BTS are connected via UM interface. BTS and BSC are connected via ABIS interface. BSC and MSC are connected via A interface. The same interfaces will be explained in GSM architecture. Now, the protocol architecture means just you need to write each mobile station, what are the layers? At BTS, what are the layers? At BSC and MSC, you need to write each layers. Okay. These are the protocols at each layer. This is the radio is the protocol at physical layer. These two are LAPDM and RR, MM, CM. These are each layer protocols. These are each layer protocols. Okay, like this, you need to explain each layer protocol. This is GSM protocol architecture. This is GSM protocol architecture. Next question. Here the second question was, what are the functions of authentication and encryption in GSM? What are the functions of authentication and encryption in GSM? Okay, for this question, you need to write security in GSM. Okay, here the functions in GSM is you need to write about encryption, generation of cipher key, and authentication. Okay, here already I told you about this topic security in GSM. For the first diagram, it shows about access control and authentication. In this algorithm, access control and authentication, we have used A3 algorithm. The A3 algorithm is used for authentication. A3 algorithm is used for authentication. Okay. Here we will check the subscriber authentication. Okay. Access control and authentication. Here we will check the subscriber authentication. Here we will check the subscriber authentication. See, this is the mobile network and this is the SIM card. The left side one is the mobile network. right side one is the subscriber identity module. Here what we have done, this is authentication center, mobile switching center, and subscriber identity module. Here we have used A3 algorithm. Already I told you A3 algorithm is used for authentication. Here we have used a key of 128 bit and we have used a random number of 128 bit. Okay, by using these two, we used here A3 algorithm by taking a key value 128 bit and random number 128 bit. We have used a A3 algorithm. The result is a SRES. SRES means signed response. Okay, the result SRES is passed through the mobile switching center. Now coming to the other side, the mobile network authentication center. At the mobile network, the authentication center forwards the random number which is used here. The random number is forwarded to the SIM card. Okay, here at SIM, same this random, by using this random number, and we have used a key value of 128 bit and used A3 algorithm. The result will be the SRES, the 32-bit signed response. The 32-bit signed response is forwarded to MSC. At mobile switching center, we need to check the subscriber authentication by comparing the authentication center SRES and SIM SRES. Whether these two are same, then the subscriber authentication will be completed. The subscriber authentication will be verified. Okay. This is the first one for access control and authentication. The second one, in this algorithm, we have used two algorithms. The first one is here I told you, A3 algorithm is used for authentication, A5 algorithm is used for encryption, A8 algorithm is used for generation of cipher key. Okay, in the confidentiality, this is one more security service of security service. In confidentiality, we have used two algorithms. One is A8 algorithm, which is used for generation of a cipher key, and A5 algorithm, which is used for encryption. Here, the components are authentication at mobile network and a mobile station with SIM card. Left side one is the mobile network, right side one is the mobile station with SIM card. Here at authentication center, we have taken a key value of 128 bit and a random number of 128 bit and used a A8 algorithm. A8 algorithm is used to generate a cipher key. Okay. What will be the result after applying the A8 algorithm on key value and random number? The result will be the cipher key. The cipher key is the cipher key of 64 bit is generated, and this will be forwarded to base transceiver station. Here, the authentication center forwards the random number which is used here, and it is forwarded to the mobile station with SIM card. Okay, it is forwarded to SIM. Here at SIM, the same 128-bit random number, and by using key value of 128 bit used A8 algorithm, as a result it will generate a 64-bit key value, 64-bit cipher key. That cipher key is forwarded to mobile station. That cipher key is forwarded to mobile station. Here at mobile station, we have a data. At mobile station, we have a data. The data at mobile station, that the data and 64-bit cipher key. The data and 64-bit cipher key are used, and A5 algorithm is used. Is nothing but it is used for encryption. ఇక్కడ ఏముందంటేనమ్మా, డేటా ప్లస్ 64-bit సైఫర్ కీని యూజ్ చేసుకొని డేటాని A5 algorithm తోటి ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ చేశారన్నమాట. ఓకే, దిస్ encrypted data will be forwarded to base transceiver station. This encrypted data will be forwarded to the base transceiver station. Okay, here what base transceiver station will do? Base transceiver station sends data which is encrypted with 64-bit cipher key, which is encrypted with 64-bit cipher key, is forwarded to mobile station. That means the encrypted data will be exchanged between base transceiver station and mobile station. Okay, here at BTS, how it will be decrypted. Okay, how it will be decrypted at mobile station, how it will be decrypted. The answer is already it is having a 64-bit encryption, 64-bit cipher key, right? Okay, here that key is used for decryption. Here that key is used for decryption here. Okay, in this way we can check the confidentiality here. Okay, these two are the security parameters in mobile computing. First one we have checked the subscriber authentication. In the second diagram we have checked the confidentiality. Here we have used three algorithms. Those are A3 algorithm and A5 algorithm, and lastly A8 algorithm. A3 is used for subscriber authentication, A5 is used for encryption, A8 is used for generation of cipher key. Now moving to the next question. Here, bring out the limitations of mobile devices. The question is, bring out the limitations of mobile devices. Okay, we know the limitations of mobile devices. Those are explained here in the third page. I explained about limitations of mobile computing. Those are already the bad mobile devices, means those are small in size. Okay, the first one is resource constraint, so battery is the major resource constraint. And interference means one signal is interfered with another signal. Okay, this will be protected against the shielding. Okay, this is the next limitation. And bandwidth is one limitation. Bandwidth means data rate. Okay, when compared to wired medium, when compared to wired medium, wireless transmission medium is having less data rate. Okay, here that is the bandwidth is one more limitation. And dynamic changes in communication environment. Whereas in connection oriented networks we have a topology. Okay, according to the topology the nodes are arranged. Here the dynamic changes will be happened. Why? Because due to mobility, the mobile device continuously moving from one place to one place is nothing but changing location from one place to another place. Okay, this is one more challenge. And network issues. Network issues means connection stability problem. Sometimes the signal strength may be high and the signal strength may varies. Okay, this is about the connection stability. And lastly, we have interoperability issues. Interoperability issues means the protocols. Okay, the varying of protocols. Okay, this is the limitations of mobile computing. Moving to the next set. Describe the mobile computing architecture with a need diagram. Describe the mobile computing architecture with a need diagram. Mobile computing architecture means you need to write the layered architecture. Already so many times I told you, you need to write the layered architecture. You need to write here, this is the simplified reference model. Okay, this is the mobile computing architecture. And discuss the mobile services and data services in GSM. Okay, here I told you the services, these are the GSM services. In GSM services we have majorly three types of services. One is bearer services, one is tele services, and lastly we have supplementary services. Here in bearer services we have used we have dealt with data transmission, okay, and as well as a forward error correction, etc. In tele services, we are responsible for SMS, we are responsible for EMS, and EMS means enhanced message services, and calling, and every calling procedures will take care of in tele services. And last one is supplementary services. In this we have discussed about what is call waiting and what is call bearing, call forwarding, and everything, call redirection, call identification, everything we need to discuss. We discussed here. Okay, moving to the next topic, next question. How much the original? I'm discussing short answers and essay questions from first unit. How much the original GSM network does GPRS need? Which elements of the network perform the data transfer? Here, question is how much of the original GSM network does GPRS need, and which elements of network perform the data transfer? Here, every GSM needs a GPRS. Every GSM network uses a GPRS services to transfer the data. Okay, and here by this GPRS is the enhanced data service. That means this by in GPRS is advanced improvement to the HSCD, high speed switched circuit data. Okay, this I will for this question, this is general question. For this I will send you the answer in material. I will provide you. Next, third set. Explain the novel applications and limitations of mobile computing. I told you the applications and limitations of mobile computing means I have so many times I explained about applications. First one is vehicle application, emergency application, business application, credit card verification application, and infotainment. Infotainment. So these are the major novel application of mobile computing. Next, explain the security services in GSM. Explain the security services in GSM. In today's class, we discussed about the security parameters. Those are the GSM provide authentication and confidentiality. Okay, here we have used three algorithms A3, A5, A8. In the first step, by using A3 algorithm, we checked the subscriber authentication. In this diagram, we have explained about subscriber authentication verification. Okay, this is the second one. We have used two algorithms, A8 and A5 algorithms. In these algorithms, A8 for generation of cipher key, A5 for performing encryption. Okay, these are two GSM services. Next one, explain short answer question. Explain the role of HLR entity in GSM network. HLR means home location register. Here, home location register will keep the permanent information. It is a permanent database which stores the information about each and every information regarding the mobile device permanently. Okay, it is the permanent database which maintains the complete information. Okay, I will go tell you what is the HLR in GSM. See here. Here, this is HLR. HLR, it is a database. It is a database used for storage and management of subscriptions. HLR stores the permanent data about subscribers. Subscribers means who are subscribed to the network, including the subscribers, service provider, service profile, location information, and activity status. Suppose the mobile device is varying from one place to one place. Okay, it will keep track of every information. Okay, what is the activity status, and when an individual buys a subscription from the PCS provider, he or she is registered in the HLR of that operator. మనం ఏమైనా ఆపరేటర్ దగ్గర కనుక ఒక మొబైల్ డివైస్ పర్చేస్ చేసామంటే, ఓకే, బైస్ సారీ మొబైల్ డివైస్ కదమ్మా, సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్ బై సపోజ్ ఒక సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్ దగ్గర సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్ మనం పర్చేస్ చేసామంటే అవర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఈస్ పర్మనెంట్లీ స్టోర్డ్ విత్ ద డేటాబేస్. ఓకే, వాళ్ళ డేటాబేస్ లో మన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అనేది పర్మనెంట్ గా స్టోర్ అయింది అనమాట. దే విల్ కీప్ ట్రాక్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, దట్ ఈస్ యాక్టివిటీ స్టేటస్, service profile, location management, and everything. Okay, they will take care of all the information. Next, moving to the next set, last set. Explain in detail about GPRS. Explain in detail about GPRS. This is the direct question asked for 16 marks. Okay, we'll go for GPRS. Here the GPRS will be available in new data services. First, before going to GPRS, we need to write the definition what is GPRS and why, when GPRS will be implemented. Okay, first we need to write about HSCD, high speed switched circuit data. After that we'll move to GPRS. We need to write about the GPRS. Those we need to write the problems of HSCD and what are the improvement of GPRS over HSCD. After that we need to write the GPRS architecture reference model. Here in yesterday class also I told you, in the last revision class also I told you about this one. This is the transmission. This diagram shows the transmission from public data network to mobile station. This happens through GGSN, SGSN, BSS to MS. Okay, here every point is having one role. Here GGSN, one GGSN can control several GGSN. One GGSN control more than one SGSN. One SGSN can control more than one BSS. One BSS can control more than one mobile station. Here you need to remember about the interfaces between MS and BSS, BSS and SGSN, SGSN and GSN, GGSN, and GGSN and public data network. Okay, these you need to remember. Okay, all you need to write about, they ask a direct question, right? So you need to write the GPRS protocol architecture also. You need to write, this is the GPRS plain transmission protocol reference model. This is also you need to write. Next question, short answer question. Explain how mobility management is done in GSM. Explain how a mobility management is done in. Here the mobility management in mobile computing is very important one. Here this is the general question. Okay, this is the general question. I will send you the answer, just listen carefully. Here the mobility management in mobile computing is very important one. The major aim of mobility management is to track where the subscribers are, to track allowing calls, okay, SMS and other mobile phone services to be delivered them. Okay, ante enti simple mobility management is nothing but, okay, to track of the subscribers ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారు, they వాళ్ళకి they allowing the calls to the subscribers to keep track of subscribers location and allowing them to send the messages and other mobile services, what I will tele services, bearer services and bearer services and supplementary services. All these services are provided by mobility management. Okay, just I will send you the answer. Mobility management is nothing but providing services to the users by making them to call, by allowing them to send SMS, okay, etc. This is the one set. And next question, coming to the next paper, next year paper. In detail describe the functions and limitations of operating systems in handheld devices. Okay, handheld devices means mobile devices. Handheld devices means, don't think otherwise. Handheld devices means nothing but mobile devices. In these mobile devices, here what they asked, what is the limitations they asked. Already I told you the limitations of mobile devices is nothing but the limitations of handheld devices. Same, battery constraints, interference, you need to write interference, the bandwidth problem and the bandwidth problem and the network problem and the connectivity problem and signal strength. All you need to write about this answer. That is the answer for this question. Next, this is also general question. When a mobile station, just very important this question, when a mobile station moves from one cell to another, one cell అంటే ఏంటంటేనండి one BTS, but base transceiver station ఏమంటామంటే we can call that BTS as cell. Question is, when a mobile station moves from one cell to another and how to handle handover mechanism, explain different kinds of it. సింపుల్ గా వీడు ఏమడిగాడంటే హ్యాండ్ ఓవర్ గురించి అడిగాడు. when a mobile hand what is meant by handover? When a mobile station moves from one cell to another cell is nothing but it is in mobility. It is moving from one place to another place. It changes, obviously it changes from one cell to another cell. That procedure is called as handover procedure. Already we have 4 handover procedures, right? They asked 4 types, right? How many types? Here, this is the diagram. This is the handover. Okay, first type is intra-cell handover. Next one is inter-cell. The mobile station moves from here to here, nothing but it changes the cell. Okay, first cell nunchi second cell change ayinabutti inter-cell and intra-BSC, because these 2 cells are controlled by this BSC. So inter-cell, intra-BSC. Next one, third one enti inter-BSC. Inter-BSC means where is the cell? The mobile is moved from here to here. Okay, this is controlled by this BSC. This is controlled by this BSC. Okay, అంటే ఏంటి BSC కూడా చేంజ్ కదా. సో ఇంటర్ BSC and these 2 BSCs are under this MSC. So intra MSC, inter BSC. Next, last one, the mobile is moved here. Okay, next one inter MSC. Next one is inter MSC because the mobile station is here. This is under this BTS and this BTS is controlled by this BSC and this BSC is controlled by this MSC. Okay, so this is called as inter MSC handover. Totally 4 types of handover First one is intra-cell, within the cell, the intra-cell handover. Next one, inter-cell, intra-BSc. Next one, intra-MSc, inter-BSc. Next, last one, inter-MSc handover techniques. These you need to write. Next, differentiate guided and unguided transmission medium. Okay, you need to write the differences between guided transmission medium and unguided transmission medium. This is the general question. Okay, in the next class, we'll go for all these are revision classes. If you have any explanation, complete explanation, just in these classes, what I will do is just I will tell you the outline of the each topic which was asked in the previous question paper. Okay, if you have detailed explanation, go back to my previous class videos which is available in the YouTube. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, please review the papers once again. I will send you the third unit material and as well as the previous question papers also to you today or tomorrow. Okay, thank you everyone.